Folks, welcome back to the PlayAction podcast. Got another great guest for you right now. We have John Hendrix from the BLEAV In Saints podcast and Saint News Network at SI.com. John, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it as always. It's an exciting time. Football's back, right?
Football is back, and the Saints are going to be back here soon. Obviously, you know, everyone's been displaced down there. First of all, we hope I hope you and all your family is doing well down there.
Doing okay. Yeah, we were without power for about a week, and, generator life. I sent the family to Florida. A little bit of roof damage, some external things, but everything that can be rebuilt. So, doing okay, so I appreciate you asking for sure.
Okay, all right. But like you said, football's starting here. I mean, what's the outlook here for the Saints in year one of the post-Drew Brees era?
Yeah, look, I think it's anybody's guess, right? And I tend to be more of an optimistic type person just because, you know, being around the team in training camp and then obviously seeing them, in preseason action. Look, I think this team, it starts with Jameis Winston, right? And, you know, a lot of people are kind of in the impression that, hey, this is 2019 Jameis Winston, which is not the case, right? I think when you look at it, it's a different person calling the plays. It's Sean Payton. He has a better backfield support in Alvin Kamara and now Tony Jones Jr. Obviously, he's going to be without Michael Thomas. That's a huge loss there. But, I mean, you have a lot of weapons. They have an elite offensive line. And so I think when you talk about not having Thomas, not having David Onyemata, there's enough there to weather the storm and the way the schedule plays out in the first, half before they have their bye week in week 6. So there's plenty there for them. But overall, when they get Thomas and Onyemata back, it's a huge boost. When they get Will Lutz, their kicker, back, that's going to be a huge boost. So I think most of the questions will rely on that defense, specifically like the interior and at cornerback opposite of Marshawn Lattimore.
All right. I mean, obviously, Michael Thomas is out at least the first 6 weeks. Who are some of the guys that the Saints are going to be counting on to step up and fill that void?
Yeah, look, it's Marquez Callaway, first of all. And I know a lot of people thought, hey, it's Traquan Smith. This is the former third-rounder from 2018 that was going to fill that role. But he kind of, got hurt early in camp and came back one practice and then was out for the rest and hasn't been in preseason action. So that obviously hurts his camp a little bit. But, for Cal, he's the real deal. He's an undrafted guy from Tennessee from last year. He showed flashes last season, was filling in Lions game, Panthers game, just a couple of them, with everything that happened with COVID and all these other different injuries that the Saints had. But look, he's the guy that's going to be the number one target. And it's a tough draw against the Packers in week 1. But look, I think he's really going to distance himself. We've seen it in the preseason. And, the encouraging thing is it's everything that we saw in practice too. So it's not like this guy just said, oh, well, it's game day, let me just turn it on. He puts in hard work. He's very humble. He's a very good guy. And so I think he's going to be your top option there. And then Smith is probably your number 2 guy. They're going to also have Deontay Harris, is more known for his return abilities, but man, he's been more involved in the offense. So it's definitely going to be a lot more hands-on this season, I would say. And then after that, Ty Montgomery, who Packers fans know a good bit of, he's going to end up being in here, and Chris Hogan and Little Jordan Humphrey. So those are the receivers, I'd say, and then tight end, Jawan Johnson, Adam Troutman are going to be the guys that you really look at that are pretty much not household names, obviously, but they're going to make some huge leaps this season.
So what's going on with the Michael Thomas situation? How do you see that playing out in the end? Obviously, there's been a little bit of a war of words in the offseason leading up to camp. I mean, how's that going to play out?
Yeah, look, I'd say it's overblown, first of all. A lot of things people said that Thomas wanted out and all this. It was just, it escalated, right? Because, what happened with the offseason, the surgery, it's a bad look for both of them, right? It's the team and him not getting on the same page for that. So, because he could have had the surgery earlier, could have knocked it out earlier, and he could be playing in week 1, but that's simply not the case. But, look, Thomas is a passionate guy. He's always going to wear a chip on his shoulder. He's always going to feel slighted because 5 other receivers got drafted ahead of him in 2016, and of them, he's been the most productive, hands down. But look, everything they've worked on men and defenses. The team wants him around here. Jameis Winston is a guy who's advocated for him. Everything seems like it's fine. Again, this season it was never an option to trade him just because of the money that's involved, all these different things, especially because he was just hurt. That was the main thing. But, look, he can come back, he can rebound. If they still feel like things aren't, better as far as their relationship, maybe next offseason you start looking at maybe if you're going to trade him, especially if some of these other guys come on. But look, he's here to stay. He's got a lot to prove after being the Offensive Player of the Year in 2019. Obviously had a disappointing year last season. But look, he's hungry. He's going to be one that the Saints are going to need if they're going to have success this season.
Okay. Saints-Packers afternoon kick on Sunday. Saints displaced a little with the game in Jacksonville now because of the storm. Packers are favored by about 4 points right now. What's your take on this game? How are the Packers, that Packers defense, how are they able to slow down Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, look, again, I'm pretty optimistic when it comes to the Saints season. This morning I released all my record predictions. I have them going 11-6. I started at 10-7, but that's how good I feel about it. I just think that the pieces are there. They can lean on that offensive line. They can have a very underrated defense. Their pass rush is stellar, and again, they've added cornerback help. So you get, Desmond Trufant is a veteran there, and then you trade for Bradley Roby. I mean, that helps their situation so much. But they also believe a lot in their rookie and Paulson Adebo and Ken Crawley. And I don't know if Crawley's going to play this week, but look, it's the Packers. It's Aaron Rodgers. It's Aaron Jones. It's Devontae Adams. Those are tough to slow down. And you look at last year's game, which is kind of a sampling. Obviously, it plays in Rodgers' favor, not having to face that Superdome crowd again, and then moving to Jacksonville. But Saints fans traveled well in that road game against the Jaguars in 2019. I expect them to do the same thing here. But when it comes down to it, Rodgers is an escape artist. They only sacked him one time last year. He was 21-32, I think, 283 yards and 3 touchdowns. And so you got to respect what Rodgers is able to bring. Obviously, there's some concern there rolling in 2 rookie offensive linemen for that line. But, overall, Rodgers is a smart guy. He's definitely well respected. Again, this is a familiar foe, it seems like. Green Bay and New Orleans meeting together just seems like every couple of years or every other year they were playing each other. But look, you got to respect what he can do. He can change momentum just like that. He extends the plays. He's very evasive in the pocket. And so for this Saints defense, it's really going to be after getting the pressure after him and trying to limit and isolate what Aaron Jones is going to do on the ground, and then limit what Rodgers does. I mean, he's great on third downs. He's great at doing so many things that the Saints defense is going to have to respect. And look, I know Dennis Allen is going to want to blitz a lot, and that can, for a guy like Rodgers, that can really bite you in the butt.
Thanks a lot, John. We really appreciate it. Check out John, the BLEAV In Saints podcast, Saints News Network. He's doing everything he can following the Saints, doing a great job. We really appreciate it, John. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks. We'll be in Jacksonville, leave tomorrow, so it'll be fun as we start this new season for the Saints. So I'm excited, and I appreciate you having me on.
No problem.